All right, have fun. Whoops.
All right, welcome back to the Thursday session of Wisconsin Water Week. Thanks for coming back after lunch. We'll give it a couple minutes here just to make sure we bring everybody back with us because I'm sure everyone is excited for our afternoon activity. I just want to share real quick what the afternoon has in store for us today. So just a reminder of kind of what we've gone through and kind of learned about today. And now we are at the 1:15 to 2:15 session with our Jeopardy game. So fun way to learn facts about Northeast Wisconsin. And even if you are from the region, hopefully you'll learn something from this interactive opportunity. After that, I do want to mention there is a break. So please check out those exhibitors if you haven't yet. But please remember to jump on the Tia Nelson talk at 2:30. Reminder, if you're on your homepage of the event website, to click that menu option in the upper left-hand corner and then go down and select the Thursday agenda. You should be able to see all the different breakout sessions and get on to your next session that way. And then please, after the Tia Nelson special, please come back to our regional closing. We do have a fun historical presentation and final closing remarks from a couple individuals still yet on our agenda. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Sarah Bartlett, who is going to guide us through our fun Jeopardy experience this afternoon. It's all yours, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Erin. Welcome everyone to Jeopardy, America's game, or if you are like me, you're maybe a Wheel of Fortune person, but I am so excited that you guys are here anyways to play. So I'm coming to you from Newater, the Green Bay Sewer District, and I am very excited to kind of go through Jeopardy with you guys. So this is going to be interactive, and then also it's please be as competitive as you want. We are asking the questions. I'm sorry, we're giving the answers. This is where Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy. So we are going to give the question, and then please utilize the chat for your answers and be as interactive as you want. Please keep score. If you're really competitive, you know, you can tell people throughout the game how good you're doing. By all means, utilize that to your advantage. And if there's any questions, please put them in the chat as well. But hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. So let's go ahead and get it kicked off with Great Lakes for 100. What is Holmes? H-O-M-S-E. This is just, I just figured we'd started off with a little easy question here. So if you want to go ahead and start to put your responses in the chat if you want. Why don't we go ahead and get the answer to this one. If you wrote, what are the Great Lakes? That is not an answer that we can accept. However, you are right that the category is Great Lakes. So what we're looking for here are homes, Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. So for 0 points, please feel free to chat us your favorite Great Lake. Mine is Michigan, and I think I'm just partial to it. Sitting here in Green Bay, I'm right on the, not right on the water, but close enough to have Michigan as my favorite lake. So go ahead and tell us about your favorite lake if you want. And let's go ahead and keep going with Great Lakes. Let's do Great Lakes for 200. Again, still just trying to ease everyone into this, just to test your knowledge. What is the percentage of the world's surface freshwater in the Great Lakes? Well, this is a tricky one because we're looking for the world's surface freshwater that is Great Lakes. Go ahead and utilize the chat if you want. I'm gonna load my Jeopardy music so we can have that going as well to really give you an authentic experience here. And with that, if you selected or if you wrote down 20%, you are correct. That is very impressive, actually. I think this question is more than a 200 point in my opinion, but congratulations. Looks like we do have a couple answers that knew that. You guys are very smart. So 20%, if you are from this area, if you've resided with around the Great Lakes, you know just how lucky and fortunate we are to have these lakes in our backyard. All right, our feet are wet. We're feeling confident. I think it's time to dive into a 500. Let's do water quality for 500, please. Miles of the lower Fox River were dredged as part of the Fox River PCB cleanup effort. So we're looking for a number, the number of miles of the lower Fox River that were dredged as part of the Fox River PCB cleanup. Go ahead and use the chat if you want. So a fun fact about the PCB cleanup, and this actually was just completed in 2020. It was a 17-year effort led by the DNR. It was well over $1 billion for this cleanup effort. And it's noted as potentially one of the largest and most expensive cleanup efforts in the nation. So why don't we go ahead and see how you guys answered. If you said 39 miles, you were correct. This cleanup included removing 6.5 million cubic yards of contaminated sediment. This project also treated and returned 10 billion gallons of water to the river. And what was also cool about this was the technology was in place to actually clean some of the sand and reuse that in the river. So that image right there is one of the many kind of dredge apparatuses that were on the Fox River, and the entire project was just very interesting to see. So if you want to learn more, the DNR does have a website and you can learn more about this dredging project. So congratulations, that was our first 500-point water quality question. That was kind of a tricky one. So let's stick with water quality. We're going to do water quality for 400. What is the endangered shorebird in Lower Green Bay that has returned after 75 years? Green Bay has one of the highest concentration of shorebirds in the entire state. And there is an ongoing effort with the Cat Island restoration. The Cat Island restoration and reconstruction project that kind of put 3 islands, brought them back to their original spot in Lower Green Bay, and that provided hundreds of acres of critical wildlife habitat. So this shorebird was an early adopter of this area that had been newly reconstructed. And let's see here if we're ready to give the answer. If you said piping plover, what is the piping plover? Congratulations. Piping plovers use the nests on the shores of all of the Great Lakes, but due to loss of habitat, recreational pressure, and predation, their populations have significantly declined. In 1948, only 1 pair of piping plovers were known to nest in Wisconsin. So after this 75-year absence, to have the plovers come back, they returned all on their own, was pretty remarkable. And I think just hearing from anecdotal stories, there were some people who were very surprised that the birds were back so soon. All right. Congratulations so far. If you guys are keeping score, if you think you're doing well, we will have an opportunity to share some scores later if anyone is brave enough to do so. Let's go to, let's do Love Your Watershed for 300. So we're looking for, what are you seeing here? And potentially there could be a lot of answers for what you're seeing. But think about the topic. We're in Love Your Watershed. And we're looking for, what are you seeing? Let's go ahead and I'll give you a couple more minutes, but yeah, oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't even mean to say minutes. What is runoff would be the correct answer. And this is an image from, I believe it was just last year. Colleague Ben Young took this drone photo, and runoff is very visible in the Fox River around this time of the year as we get a lot of the snow melt. We get some rain events. You just get that transport of sediment into the Fox River. And yes, this is what runoff could potentially look like. Sometimes if you're driving over the Leo Friggle Bridge, which is just kind of right to our south here, you will look out and it will just literally look like this chocolate brown color. But hopefully, due to some ongoing efforts and a lot of work in the watershed, these images of runoff will not be so drastic in the couple decades to come, just due to so much great work that's going on in the watershed. So runoff for 300. Let's do, I want to take us to a 500. I think you guys are ready for it again. Let's do land water for 500. Land water nexus, my apologies. What is a significant source of sediment and nutrients along the edge of waterways? I'm going to cue up some music and give you guys a little bit to think about this one. Let's see if it works. Significant source of sediment and nutrients along the edge of waterways. Since it's a 500, this is kind of tricky. We won't play through the whole song because this isn't quite the end of the game. All right, let's get some answers out there. If you answered, what is stream bank erosion? Wow, look at that picture. That is incredible. I believe that was taken fall of 2019. I could be mistaken. It's a relatively recent picture though. So stream bank erosion can really bring a lot of sediment into the water, and then the water, it all just travels here in the Fox Wolf watershed. That all streams, not all, but all streams lead to the mouth of the Fox River. So a really great example though of a success story in northeastern Wisconsin is the efforts with the Fox Wolf Watershed Alliance, working with county partners. They have been helping local landowners install stream bank stabilization systems and other agricultural conservation practices that would help reduce the sediment loading in Plum Creek. So that's just one example. I know that there's definitely several more, but yeah, stream bank erosion. These images, when you see them like this, and it's not just us here in northeastern Wisconsin. I think as we talk about some of the erosion going on with high water levels in the Great Lakes, you've seen houses like at the edge of the land. That's also just that erosion is occurring there. So that was a big 500 point question. Congratulations if you got it right. If you said erosion, let's go ahead and accept that answer as well. All right, I've been throwing some heavy hitters at you. Let's take it a little bit easy now. Let's do new water for 100. And new water is in this category that I am speaking to you from the Green Bay Sewerage District. And what is the clean water that New Water discharges to the Fox River each day? This clean water is returned last year, in 2020, New Water returned about 14 billion gallons of clean water back to its receiving waters. So what is the word for this clean water? For 100 points here, so if you're lagging behind a bit, you can easily catch up with getting some of these easier questions. And let's go ahead and answer it. What is effluent? So this image is really, it's really telling, you know, that we've got the image on the left, the water sample is from the Fox River. And on the same day, you have an image of New Water's effluent. So we have a rigorous treatment process at New Water. We are committed to the health and quality of our receiving waters. When I say receiving waters, that is where the effluent is being discharged. I will take a moment to just kind of do a little brag about some of the work that I get to do. New Water is so committed to the health of our water quality that they have one of the longest monitoring programs in the Great Lakes. Actually, as a matter of fact, we just completed in 2020, year 35, monitoring Lower Green Bay and Lower Fox River for water quality. It's just something that I'm always really proud to get to talk about. It's very progressive for a sewage district to be in the place of having this kind of title of one of the longest monitoring programs. And it's just pretty great that they are so invested in the water quality. It's, you know, it's a very important resource, and the work that we do here at New Water, clearly this image kind of can speak for itself here. So congratulations if you got that right. Effluent was the correct answer. Why don't we continue to test your knowledge, and we will go to New Water for 200. What are the 3 Ps? So my colleague, Erin, who is kind of behind the scenes right now driving this game, she has the opportunity to do a lot of outreach and education. And I know for a fact that she does present to kind of a younger audience, a grade school audience. And sometimes that audience is just almost better at answering this question than any of us are. They just know. Kids are so smart these days. So what are the 3 Ps? This is for 200 points, and we'll just give it a little bit longer. All right, the 3 Ps, if you said, what is pee, poop, and toilet paper? Congratulations, you definitely got this correct. You have earned 200 points. So toilets are not trash cans, and if there is a message that that we can really give to people, it's just to remind them to just treat their toilet with a little bit of respect. And you may notice that some items that maybe you have seen flushed that did not show up in this list as items that should be flushed. For example, flushable wipes, not in the list of things that we should be flushing. While these wipes are increasingly popular and they're causing backups in homes around the United States, they definitely need to be disposed of in trash cans. They actually don't break down that well. If you go on YouTube or Google, I'm showing my age on some of this technology. If you just Google flushable wipes breaking down, there's some really great videos that show them not actually breaking down and they're staying in their like just this solid form. So flushable wipes, they can stick to things that are already in the pipes. They clog things, they get tangled, they cause sewerage backups, and they're really costly for homeowners and wastewater utilities to kind of do any types of repairs. So flushable wipes, along with baby wipes, dental floss, mop refills, paper towels, towelettes. I mean, none of these things are pee, poop, and toilet paper. And if you want, we really encourage you to go to the New Water website. We've got a lot of great resources that can kind of help you. Medications, for example, those can't be flushed and should not be flushed either. So toilets are not trash cans. Please treat them with a little bit of respect. I'm going to give you an opportunity for some bonus points. If you feel like you do this already, a couple extra bonus points. Congratulations and thank you for just being a good steward. So New Water 200, if you got pee, poop, and toilet paper, you have earned 200 points. If you guys want to take a moment to kind of add up your scores, see how you're doing, we're not quite at halfway. So no worries if there's a couple questions that have really stumped you. You guys are doing great, and I hope you're still just learning things in the process. I will say that there are definitely some questions that I do not know the answer to here. So let's stick with New Water. This is a category that I'm very comfortable with. So let's do New Water for 300, please. How much water was cleaned by New Water last year? And we'll just give you a little bit to think. This could potentially be a big number, so I'm gonna give a bit to see how people are doing. If we think we need a hint, I know they don't give hints in Real Jeopardy. Maybe I'll give you a unit and that would help you a little bit here. So go ahead, think about it. How much water was cleaned by New Water last year? If you tuned into Erin's talk earlier, you might have actually heard this answer. If you think about an Olympic swimming pool, for example, this is a pretty good tip. An Olympic swimming pool holds 660,000 gallons. So just to kind of put that into reference for you, an Olympic swimming pool is 660,000 gallons. All right, the answer, if we're ready for it, for 300 points. What is 18 billion gallons of water? That is a lot. That is a lot of water. I'll put a plug in right now, and I may say this a couple times. So New Water, we're currently closed to the public. However, if you are interested in kind of seeing how some of the water flows through the facility, we do have a virtual tour that you can check out. It is a link on our website, and maybe that can hold you over until until things are opened up, and we welcome you back then with open arms, and come check us out at New Water. It's a pretty impressive process. This image right here is one of our facilities. This is the Green Bay facility, right at the mouth of the Fox River. All right, congratulations. That was New Water for 300. Let's go ahead and get one more in here. Let's do land water nexus for 100, please. Increasing this in both urban and rural areas will help bees as well as enhance biodiversity. This is a 100-point question. Increasing this in both urban and rural areas will help bees as well as enhance biodiversity. Give you guys a couple minutes to think about this. Not minutes, we don't have time for minutes. You guys can have a couple seconds here to think about this. All right. Let's go ahead and get an answer here. If you said, what is pollinator habitat? Congratulations. Yes. I'm not sure if these are synonymous or not. I'm sure there's some people in the audience that probably can tell me, but native wildflowers, native habitat, these things will all just help increase biodiversity. It's definitely look into what plants are native in your area. And if you're considering, if you've got a little bit of space and you want to plant some things as a citizen, definitely consider planting some things that can be good for pollinators. Again, definitely make sure that whatever you're doing is going to be, can be native to the area though. Last thing you want to do is start to spread some invasive species around. I think Cheerios came under fire a couple of years ago because they had this great idea to do my apologies. They had a great idea to do a campaign. They gave away seeds and then came under a lot of criticism because the seeds, I think, went nationwide and they weren't always great for certain areas. So there's a lot of great resources. Check them out if you're interested. But pollinator habitat is the answer for Land Water Nexus 100. Congratulations if you got that one right. Hope you guys are doing okay so far and in getting some questions right. Let's stick with land water and let's do land water for 200. Urban stormwater management is key for addressing collection and treatment of precipitation to reduce the occurrence of this threat. So what kind of urban stormwater management is key for addressing collection and treatment of precipitation to reduce the occurrence of this threat? This is for 200 points. Take a little bit to think about it if you need to. And all right, let's get an answer for this 200-point question. If you said, what is flooding? Congratulations, you are right. So this image was taken, I also want to say in 2020. So 2020 was just a tough year at the mouth of the Fox River. This picture, I'm just going to kind of orient you. You actually have one of the dredging units that's tucked in between the parking lot. This is the Green Bay Yacht Club. So this parking structure as well as the bridge, this is a dredging unit in the middle. This was the auxiliary Coast Guard station towards the bottom of the page. And then if you look left to that, that's a parking lot. Oh, okay, yeah, I think someone told me it was 2019, and that does seem to be right. Although the parking lot's underwater happened a lot. So, we've been dealing with flooding for a while. Regardless, it's a very recent picture. And the parking lot is underwater. The parking lot is brown, and it was just a flooding event that occurred at the very beginning of the season. Again, it's just this chocolate brown color. If you're driving over the Leo Fergal Bridge, which is in the background, it's very visible from there. So these types of events, as I've mentioned before, they're not uncommon. And we're hoping that some work in the watershed will definitely reduce the the chocolate brown color of it, but just a remarkable picture. So again, thanks to my colleague Ben for these drone images. They really, a picture tells 1,000 words, and this one definitely is very pretty interesting to look at. So that was land water for 200. Congratulations if you said flooding. I am thinking that we're ready to try something harder though. So let's do land water. I'm sorry, love your watershed for 500. Just a big 500. Got a couple more left. We've only done 2. So what are some examples of sources of phosphorus getting into our waters? And I'm thinking that we might be able to accept a couple answers here, but 500 points. Think about it. What are some examples of sources of phosphorus getting into our waters? Again, some of your responses may depend on where you're joining us from today. Some examples that we are going to list are definitely specific or applicable to the Northeast Wisconsin area. Give just a little bit more for you guys to think about it. You can definitely list more than one. We know that there are many sources of phosphorus into the water. This is a 500 point as well. All right, let's go ahead and get an answer. If you said, and again, like I said, you said leaves, excess fertilizer, manure, those were just some applicable examples from Northeastern Wisconsin that we gave. We definitely would be open to some other answers here. Just really a takeaway from this though is that, these waters, it's all our backyard, and you should really think of yourself as a polluter, a point source polluter, or and think about ways that and different actions that you can do to change in your own personal life to kind of prevent some of this pollution from happening. So maybe you think that if it's egg fertilizer, well, that has nothing to do with me. And what about the leaves? There's all these small changes that you can make that can really kind of help with some of the pollution and kind of keep some things out of our source waters. So that was a big question right here. This was a 500-point question. I'm thinking we can stick with some of these tough questions here. So let's do love your watershed for 400. And the direction that the Fox River flows. So for the sake of, just to make it easy, there's only 4 options. We didn't get too crazy with this one, but the direction that the Fox River flows. I'll give a little bit for you guys to populate some responses. Please go ahead and throw some things in the chat if you've been a little shy. This one is, at least there's multiple options with this one. Go ahead and check out that chat, give you some thinking music. Again, this is for 400 points, 1 of 4 options. All right, let's see here. The correct answer is north. So congratulations if you got that right. We are we are here with the Fox River. We are a small but mighty we are a small and mighty group that of rivers. We join the ranks of the Nile River, for example, is a river that flows north. And then there's a couple others. There are a couple other rivers around the Great Lakes that also flow north. And that one of those is Saginaw, and the other is Niagara. So I knew any of those. So what is north? That was a 400-point question. And let's go ahead and move on to the next one. One moment, please. All right. So congratulations if you got that right. The answer was north. Let's do another tough one. Let's do Great Lakes for 500. Which Great Lake is the source of drinking water for Green Bay residents? Which Great Lake is the source of drinking water for Green Bay residents? So I'll just start by, I just want to give some praise. Here in Green Bay, we are very fortunate to have the Green Bay water utility. They have just done a tremendous job doing a lead pipe take back. They completed a 5-year project just last October, and they removed more than 2,000 lead pipes. They decided that they were going to replace the lead pipes, and they have just really done a tremendous job. So we're very fortunate in this area to have Green Bay Water Utility as our drinking water source. So which Great Lake is the source of drinking water for Green Bay residents? This is for 500 points. What is Lake Michigan? If you got that right, congratulations. Green Bay, Lower Green Bay is not actually used as a drinking water source. Yes, Green Bay is part of Lake Michigan. So here in this area, we actually get ours from Lake Michigan proper. So congratulations if you got that answer correct. I could see how maybe you might think that we would get it from potentially Superior. I mean, we live so close to these water bodies, but what is Lake Michigan for 500 points? Congratulations if you got that one right. Let's go ahead and take a step back. These were some heavy hitting questions. You guys are doing great. Let's do water quality for 300. What is the percentage of nutrients delivered to Lake Michigan from the Fox River each year? I know there's definitely some people in the audience that know this answer, and it's a tough one though. It's for 300 points. The percentage of nutrients delivered to Lake Michigan from the Fox River each year. Give you just a little bit to think on that. All right, 300 points, a percentage. If you said, what is 33%? Congratulations. That was a tough one. You are correct. So 33%. And what's interesting about Green Bay is that it is the largest freshwater estuary. And that means that Nutrients are harbored and they tend to kind of settle out in Lower Green Bay, and they're harbored in the area. So the fact that the 33% of the nutrients from the Fox River still make it and feed into the Lake Michigan's nutrient system is just incredible. That just means that there's a lot coming into Green Bay from the Fox River. And this image, right, image is again at the very prominent picture of our area. It was taken by Steve Silo, and it is again just another runoff event from the Lower Fox to Lower Green Bay. So that was a tricky one. That was a 300-point question, and the answer was, what is 33%? Congratulations if you got that right. All right, we're getting there. If you wanted to add up your score, if you're keeping score, definitely do so. At any point, you can drop your score into the chat box. If there's a little competition that you would like to, egg some people on, go ahead and let them know where you're at with the score. So let's go into another question here. Let's stay with water quality, and let's do water quality for 200. Vegetation that is hand-seeded in an effort to re-establish it in Lower Green Bay and enhance coastal wetland habitat for fish and wildlife. So this is a 200-point question, and we are looking for the vegetation that is hand-seeded in an effort to re-establish it in Lower Green Bay and enhance coastal wetland habitat for fish and wildlife. 2020 was the fourth year of this reseeding effort. I'm giving away a little clues, not intentionally. So a vegetation, this is 200 points. I know we have some people in the audience that also know this, may have participated. Feel free to put your answers in the chat if you know it. All right, let's go ahead and get an answer for this one. If you said, oh my, I hadn't seen that picture before. If you said, what is wild rice? Congratulations, you got that one right. So small teams of conservation professionals and volunteers from UW Green Bay, Ducks Unlimited, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, UW-Madison Division and Extension, as well as many others, have helped to seed 2,000 pounds of wild rice at coastal wetlands in the Bay of Green Bay. And wild rice holds important traditional, economic, and spiritual value in this region for the Wisconsin's First Nation tribes. And wild rice is also benefits waterfowl as an important food source during fall migration. And it contributes to fish nursery habitat as well as ecological diversity in coastal wetlands. So 2020 was the fourth year. And what is wild rice for 200 points? Congratulations if you got that one right. Let's go ahead and stay with water quality. We'll finish out this category. What is water quality 100? So this looks like pea soup and commonly appears in area waters each summer. I'll give you a little bit to think about this. All right, it looks like pea soup and it is commonly appears in area waters each summer. If you've got some answers going on in the chat, that's great. This can go by two different names. It's a 100-point question, so why don't we go ahead and get the answer out there. Looks like pea soup. What are cyanobacteria or harmful algal blooms? If you said blue-green algae, we would accept that answer as well. Fun fact for you, blue-green algae or cyanobacteria, which is its actual name, it gets its name from back in the 1900s, and people originally thought it was an algae because it has properties that, you know, it has pigments, blue and green, so that's where the nomenclature came from, and then it also does photosynthesis. So people thought it was an algae, but in fact, it is a bacteria, and it is one of the oldest organisms in the world. So cyanobacterial blooms, not only are they aesthetically unpleasing, they can be incredibly noxious in their smell. If you happen to come across one in the middle of summer and it might be decaying, you get this really strong odor. Cyanobacteria they just have a lot of water quality problems. This is a topic that I can talk at end about, so I'm gonna just wrap it up here. And if anyone wants to talk more about it, hit me up in the chat. But if you got this one right, we would accept blue-green algae or cyanobacteria commonly occur during the summer months. Blue-green algae, they're not unique to Green Bay. They're not unique to Wisconsin or even the United States. This is an organism that is found around the world. So for 100 points, if you got that, congratulations. And let's do love your watershed for 200. An area that drains into a stream, river, or body of water. An area that drains into a stream, river, or body of water. Go ahead and share some answers in the chat if you feel comfortable. All right. If you said, what is a watershed? Congratulations, you are right. Sorry here. So a watershed, on New Water's website, we have a fun little video that you can check out if you are curious, or if you're looking for maybe an educational resource that you want to share with people. It's just a quick 2-3 minute video that goes into what a watershed is. And just for fun, here in Green Bay, we are part of the Foxwell watershed. And hopefully after some of the things that we talked about earlier today, this is not new information to you. So that was for 200 points, love your watershed. And let's do land water for, love your watershed 100. Let's go ahead and finish out this category. What are things I can do to help protect our water? So we might accept a couple answers here. It's self-scoring, so you can be your own judge, but what are things I can do to help protect our water? Think about the category. We're in Love Your Watershed. Definitely utilize the chat on this one. There are probably many answers that we would accept for this. For 100 points, why don't we go ahead and we can get the answer to this one. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can do, keeping in mind, you know, what's in your backyard and things, how can you contribute? Your actions can make a difference. So what is picking up dog poop, adopting a storm drain, joining a river cleanup? This is the time of year. Please keep your eyes and ears open for announcements for river cleanups. Here in northeastern Wisconsin, the Fox Wolf Watershed Alliance is doing a river cleanup event, but I know they're all over the place. It's a really great opportunity to really, hashtag love your watershed. So for 100 points, we would accept many answers here. Hey, you guys are doing great so far. Thank you for sticking with us. We have just a couple more. Let's do land water for 300. Regional groups of conservation professionals and voluntary farmers testing best management practices. Regional groups of conservation professionals and voluntary farmers testing best management practices. All right, let's get an answer. If you said, what is Demo Farms Network? You are right. Congratulations. So the demo farms are regional groups. And fun fact, the Fox Demo Farm Network was the original. So that's really cool for this area to kind of have that. And then the NRCS is adding 6 networks in Eastern Wisconsin, is adding its 6th network, my apologies. So adding one more, number 6, in Eastern Wisconsin. There's a lot of great information on demo farms on the World Wide Web. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested more. I know that there are, at least in this area, there's demo days. So an opportunity to actually go and check them out in person. There's a lot of fun events. I would definitely encourage you to go learn more about these if you're interested. So that was for 300 points. Congratulations. Let's go ahead and do land water for 400, please. We'll finish off this category. Land water nexus for 400. All right. Restoration of coastal wetlands and decreasing hardened shorelines can reduce coastal erosion under these conditions. The restoration of coastal wetlands and decreasing hardened shorelines can reduce coastal erosion under these conditions. So this is a 400-point question. It's a little bit more challenging. I have given the answer away a couple different times throughout this presentation, just as a little hint. It's a topic that has come up a couple different times. I'll give you just a little bit more to think on it. If you feel confident, go ahead and use the chat. All right. For 400 points, if you said, what are high water levels? You are correct. So just right before this, I went and looked at the latest forecasts from the Army Corps of Engineers. They have said that I only looked at Lake Michigan. The Army Corps does forecasts and provide just a really great informational source for all the Great Lakes. But it said that right now, Lake Michigan is down 9 inches from this time last year, which is great because if we recall last year, if you, there was just a lot of flooding last year. But even though we're down 9 inches from last year, overall, Lake Michigan is still 2 feet greater than the monthly mean height. So the Corps does put out these forecasts that actually project it for the next couple months. So if you're interested to learning more, if you've got a favorite Great Lake that you're curious about, go ahead and check out their website and their forecasting. But what is high water levels? And that was for 400 points. Let's do, we've got a couple tricky ones left. Let's do Great Lakes for 400. The deepest North American Great Lake. All right, so we have 5 options. If you're still hanging with us, go ahead, throw some answers in the chat. You have a 1 in 5 chance of getting this. The deepest North American Great Lake. This is for 400 points. 1 in 5 chance. I'll give just a couple more minutes in case you're feeling brave and want to participate in the chat. Go ahead, throw some answers out there. And if you said, what is Lake Superior? You are correct. Lake Superior has a mean depth of 147 meters. The second deepest, which is nowhere close to that, is Ontario at 86 meters. So Superior is 147. The second deepest is Ontario. Lake Michigan has 85 meters, so not quite a tie, but you know, Ontario, Michigan are the second and third deepest lakes. Another fun fact is Lake Superior has a retention time of 191 years. That is incredible. For more fun facts about Lake Superior or the Great Lakes, the EPA has a nice website that you can go to learn more. So Lake Superior, all right, that was for 400 points. Congratulations. We've got a couple hard ones left. Let's do New Water for 400. Oh, all right. True or false? New Water, Sewage District of Green Bay. The Green Bay Sewage District, my apologies, only closes on Christmas Day and Memorial Day. True or false? 50% chance, and this is for 400 points. If you're keeping score, you could potentially kind of push yourself forward with this answer. So let's just get right to it. The answer here is, what is false? New Water is a facility that operates 24/7, 365 days a year. The people that help service our wastewater, I mean, they're out there in some pretty crazy conditions. They really are some unsung heroes, and I'm just going to take a moment to just say how appreciative I am of my coworkers here at New Water. It's an essential service, and it's oftentimes, again, out of sight, out of mind. So remember, respect your toilet. All right, so that was for 400 points. We have 2 more questions remaining. So let's go ahead and finish off the New Water category. For 500, please. What percentage of wastewater is considered a solid? So what percentage of wastewater is considered a solid? I'll give just a little bit to think about this. It's at least it's a number between 0 and 100. So go ahead, take a chance at that. And let's go ahead and let's get an answer for this one. This is a hard one. What is 1%? 1% of wastewater is considered a solid. I said this before once, but if you're interested in learning more about the wastewater treatment process, check out New Water's website. We have a virtual tour that can help give a little bit of insight into the wastewater treatment process. So that was for 500 points, pretty tricky. Let's go ahead and let's get that last question. Let's do Great Lakes for 300. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for the last question. This is a tricky one. Which Great Lake is entirely within US borders? Again, 1 in 5 chance of getting this. So which Great Lake is entirely within US borders? For the sake of time, you're just going to have to guess or pick something right now, and we're going to go to the answer. We have, dun, 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 what is Lake Michigan for 300 points? Congratulations if you got that one right. I want to thank you so much for playing along in Water Jeopardy. I hope you had a great time and you learned a little bit of something. Feel free to check out 10 things to know about the voter, along with a host of other resources that we have on our website. And I'm going to kick it on over to Erin.
Great. Thank you, Sarah, for taking us through that. That was really fun. As Sarah mentioned, I hope you continue to learn more about fun facts about more Northeast Wisconsin that can add to what you've learned from other presentations today. Right now, we'll be ending this session, and there's a 15-minute break before Tia Nelson goes live at 2:30. So again, remember to go back to the conference website and click on that menu tab and scroll down to the Thursday agenda for access to Tia Nelson's talk at 2:30. Thank you again. And again, please come back to our session closure at 3:30. We have one more historical presentation and some closing words that we'd like to share with you. So thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you later.